middle. I'll give you the teams in a minute. We just had a technical hiccup with the video cameras. Rovers in possession. Tim Sharp with the ball there. There's to Pornulov. But being tackled there by Gary Connolly. That's good tackling by Gary Connolly and the St Helens three-quarter there on Pornulov. I'll give you the teams now. Featherstone Rovers, Chris Bibb number 1, Ikram Butt number 2, Terry Manning number 3, Pornulov number 4, 5 Owen Simpson, 6 Tim Sharp, 7 Derek Fox, 8 is Leo Casey, 9 Trevor Clark, 10 Gary Rose, 11 Chris Burton, 12 Ian Smells, 13 Brendan Toter, 14 Spencer Longstaff and 15 Glenn Booth. St Helens getting that ball from the scrum. I'll give you the St Helens team in a minute. That long ball out there from Shane Cooper there, that beautiful ball out there to number 5 Anthony Sullivan. Got some pace as this lad Sullivan on the wing. The referee incidentally is Mr Alan Burke from Oldham. So it's Paul Bishop in possession there, gives the ball there to big number 11 John Harrison running it in. So that big kick downfield, Chris Bibb informers later won that ball there, spinning. That's a knock on. St Helens team number 1 Phil Beavers. Number 1 Phil Beavers, number 2 Les Quirk, 3 Gary Connolly, 4 Alan Hunt, 5 Anthony Sullivan, 6 Thierry Party, 7 Paul Bishop, 8 Paul Forber, 9 Paul Groves, 10 George Mann, 11 John Harrison, 12 Bernard Dwyer, 13 Shane Cooper. That long ball out there, but that's a fantastic tackle. That's good defending. That I think it's Chris Bibb who made that tackle, but the referee spotted the forward pass, and that's where George Mann is dangerous. When St Helens have got a scrum on the opposition 25-yard line, when St Helens have got the feed, he usually comes out of the pack, goes to stand off half, and his strength here told, pushing 2 would-be tacklers off, but fortunate for Featherstone Rovers. Fortunate for Featherstone Rovers, the ball went forward, so St Helens caught offside there at that scrum. Mr Burke on the mark here tonight at Post Office Road. Let's hope he keeps his consistency up. So it's Rovers in possession. Big Gary Rose there, trying to run the ball out. Well, number 11 there, John Harrison making the tackle. So Trevor Clark back inside now. They're throwing Smells here, Smells down the middle. That's good running by Smells. Beautiful run by Ismails there, but Phil Beavers, that isn't here, thorn in the Rovers side, Phil Beavers. So Tim Sharp with the ball now there to Brendan Toter, back inside there to Terry Manning there, back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Chris Bibb, having to take that low pass. Chris Bibb there trying to hang Gary Connolly off, and that's good defence that by Gary Connolly on Chris Bibb. So Pornulov there, Derek Fox there, strikes the ball deep, and Phil Beavers there, it's all on. But Trevor Clark and Owen Simpson wrapping Phil Beavers up. Now number 2 there, Les Quirk trying to drive the ball in. It's still Rovers 0, St Helens 0. So Paul Groves there, oh that looked like obstruction, definitely. Crossing there, another penalty chance for Featherstone to open the score in this evening's match. I'll just try to catch my breath back. We have had a technical hitch here with the video camera, but all is quite well now. We've got the camera working. We've got Martin Payson up here on the gantry. Disappointing, Martin, that you can't play tonight.
Yes, definitely, John. I think if Rovers can pull this one off today, they'll have a good chance this season.
There we are, so that's Martin there. So Derek here looking at the post. He's on the St Helens 25-yard line. Looks a straight, easy kick. So there we go. Derek Fox strikes the goal. Straight between the middle. Featherstone Rovers 2, St Helens 0. And incidentally, that's Derek Fox's 66th goal of the season. He's the leading goal scorer in all divisions. So Chris Burton taking the kick off there from St Helens. Being tackled just short of his own 25-yard line. Brendan Toter with the ball now. He just managed to reach his own 25-yard line. But two St Helens players line spread eagle on the floor. So Leo Casey getting that ball away there to Ikram Butt. St Helens incidentally top of the table. Featherstone Rovers third from bottom. But only a matter of two good wins separating all the teams in the First Division. That's how close this First Division is this season. So Derek Fox there, that side step there, and Owen has sliced his kick there. Owen, Anthony Sullivan there. Just like slight itch there, but I'm sure that Derek didn't intend to kick the ball to Anthony Sullivan. He couldn't have kicked the ball to the most dangerous opponent on the field there, but he did do. He sliced his kick, I think. And the referee there penalising St Helens yet again. I think that's 4 penalties to nothing in this first quarter of the game. All going Featherstone Rovers in favour. So Leo Casey there, that first drive in, brings the ball up to the St Helens 25. Line Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox now there to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp there to Derek Fox there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales nearly through the gap. So it's Brendan Toulter there, running it in, gets that ball up there for Derek Fox. Well, Derek Fox, 5 yard inside that St Helens 25 yard area. Now it's Gary Rose, that long ball out now there to Chris Bibb, but Chris Bibb there having to go solo. Well, that's good tackling that by Paul Groves. Right round the bootlaces, right by the ankles. So Chris Burton playing in the second row. Coming back from a broken hand, that's Chris Burton. So Derek Fox with the ball there. That little kick through, it's all on. But Gary Connolly there taking that ball on his own in goal line. He's dangerous, is Gary Connolly. To me, his best position seems to be at fullback. But Cleith McLennan there, the ex-New Zealand coach and the St Helens coach, deciding to play Gary Connolly in the centre. So St Helens possession. Trying to bring the ball out. That's good tackling by Rovers. That's the third tackle. Brendan Toulter involved with the tackle. Paul Groves now there to big John Harrison. That's good tackling by Rovers, as somebody just shouted behind me, but still St Helens possession. I'm sure we'll see a bit kick downfield now. So it's George Mann with the ball. This is good play. This is marvellous play by Tira Party there. That's good ball there to Les Quirk. Les Quirk there taking Owen Simpson. And Les Quirk scores in the corner. That's a marvellous break that by Tira Party. Strong play that by the St Helens standoff half. And all remember Tira Party's brother Ivor playing for Featherstone Rovers last season, a couple of seasons ago. But Tira Party there showing his strength here at standoff half. And putting Les Quirk there in the clear. Les Quirk there. Owen Simpson got a chance to tackle him, but he just pushed Owen Simpson to one side and put the ball over in the corner. St Helens 4, Featherstone Rovers 2, with this conversion from Paul Bishop to come. And that goes to show you how dangerous St Helens are inside their own quarter of the field. 4 tackles there. Featherstone Rovers kept them pinned down 10 yards from the own line, and then threatening to kick the ball downfield. And there we see that conversion attempt there by Paul Bishop, just missing. Featherstone Rovers 2, St Helens 4. As I was just saying, then 4 tackles Rovers kept St Helens pinned down 10 yards from their own try line, and that threatening to kick the ball downfield, and Featherstone Rovers covered it. But St Helens decided to run the ball, and Tira Party they showed a brilliant turn of speed. That's gut tackling that. Brendan Toulter there driving the man back with the ball. Big number 12 there, big Bernard Dwyer. Big John Harrison now tried to come down the middle. I'm saying big because they're all big forwards, these St Helens players. So George Mann there. Penalty kick to St Helens. So Phil Weaver's there, putting the ball into touch, just about on the halfway line. So Paul Bishop with the ball. Paul Bishop there to John Harrison. John Harrison there. Mr. Burt there just having words there with Gary Rose. Once again, Phil Weaver's putting that ball into touch. We're deep inside the Featherston Rovers 25-yard area now. Number 8 there, Paul Forward, running the ball in well. Gets up to plays the ball. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to number 12, Bernard Dwyer, being tackled just about 15 yards short of that Featherston Rovers try line. Paul goes to the ball now there to George Mann. George Mann, big strong New Zealand forward. St Helens throwing that ball wide. Gets that ball. Allen up with the ball. 3 tries last, but he's lost the ball in the tackle. Rovers possession. Chris Bibb there trying to reach his own 25-yard area. As I was saying, Allen up there who lost the ball in the tackle. Scored 3 tries. Oh, and Featherston Rovers playing dangerous stuff inside their own 25-yard area. And Paul Newell being driven back. Chris Burton with the ball. So Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter upturning the tackle. Referee says play on, and rightly so. Good defence by St Helens. They've come here for 2 points tonight at Post Office Road. They're top of the league. That ball back from Derek Fox there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, that big boot downfield, but straight to Phil Weavers. Phil Weavers trying to straighten up, but Paul Newell there taking no dummies, makes the tackle. So it's George Mann now from acting half-back, trying to go solo. He's played the ball, it's all on. Paul Groves there being tackled. Gary Connolly with the ball now there to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop now there to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper. That's good defence by Rovers. Good play that by Derek Fox also. Getting between man and ball, but good tackling that by Ian Smale. So it's John Harrison with the ball. But don't St Helens look dangerous when they throw this ball about. Rovers have got to move up, trying to stop the ball. So that's a good kick over. So that's a nice bounce there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there and Gary Connolly. Chris Bibb in on a flyer. Chris Bibb inside. Chris Bibb still going. Marvellous play by the Rovers fullback. And Chris Burton there up for the ball. Trying to get that ball back inside there for Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark there looking for Derek Fox. Derek Fox back inside there to Leo Casey. Well, that's when Featherston Rovers can catch this St Helens side cold with them quick breakaways. Brendan Toter with the ball now. Brendan Toter now to Terry Manning there to Brendan Toter. But that's good tackling by Shane Cooper. He followed Brendan Toter all across the line. That's good defence. So it's Rovers in possession. Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox near that long ball out there to Chris Burton now there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose there, it's all on. Oh, it's a bad mistake. Owen Simpson tidying up. And Owen Simpson had the quick thinking there by Owen Simpson. It's all on. So George Mann there once again from acting half-back. But good adventurous play once again by Rovers. Bernard Dwyer there coming away with the ball. Second row forward. Being tackled just short of his own 25-yard line. John Harrison with the ball there. That's good Rovers tackling. They must stop that ball. Still trailing by 4 points to 2. So it's Paul Bishop with the ball. Paul Bishop didn't seem to have much time there to kick that ball, but look where he's kicked it. 2 or 3 players round in there, but he's still got time to put boot to ball. Finds touch. About 15 yards from that Featherstone Rovers try line. So it'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. And somebody's wheeling the pack, but the ball's in, it's out to Rovers. Tim Sharp with the ball, Tim Sharp there, makes the half break. T Party, his opposite number, makes the tackle. Now it's Terry Manning there, out to 1 tackle. Too many St Helens players in front of him that time. Owen St Helens miles offside there in front of the referee, but the referee says play on. George Mann there, who made the tackle there, what a bit offside there, but referee says play on. So Derek Fox with the ball now there to Gary Rose. That's good tackling that by Bernard Dwyer. Now Derek Fox with the ball, Derek Fox there. Had to change direction and Phil Beavers coming across for that ball, taps it with his foot. Gives the ball there to Les Quirk there, but no way through there, Les, because the man who kicked it there, Derek Fox, tackles him well. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Phil Beavers. Phil Beavers there looking to pass the ball, but decided to run it in, and rightly so. Leo Casey making the tackle. George Mann now. One man you haven't got to give room to run in. Must tackle him as soon as he gets the ball. Paul Bishop with the ball. Paul Bishop there trying to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper there. St Helens throwing this ball about to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly pushing one man off. And he's in touch. Gary Connolly tackling to touch just below us. Ian Smales coming across to help Owen Simpson now, makes the tackle. So a scrum down in front of it. It'll be Dirty Fox to feed the scrum. Featherstone Rovers 2, St Helens 4. The ball's in. It's out to Rovers. Brendan Toulton now to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp now there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there. To Paul Newell, but Paul Newell knocks the ball on. So an advantage lost by Featherstone Rovers there on the halfway line. That was the first tackle. And St Helens using that ploy again. Oh, that looked like a knock-on to me, but referee says play on. So it's Allen up there. They're getting that ball there from George Mann. Trying to split this Rovers defence up. So John Harrison coming down the middle. John Harrison being tackled there by Leo Casey. So Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer trying to reach that Rovers 25-yard line. Paul goes to the ball now there to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop. Oh, that's a bad mistake. And that's a knock-on. So Derek Fox to feed the scrum. It's out to Rovers. No. Put the ball in again, the referee says. Well, like I've just said, it's interesting to know this St Helens plan that when Paul Bishop does feed the scrum, as I've said previously, George Mann goes to stand off half, and they are lying pretty deep. Is the St Helens 3/4? So Chris Bibb there getting that ball from the scrum there off Derek Fox. So Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Chris Burton. Chris Burton being tackled there by John Harrison and George Mann. It's about 10 yards from the halfway line. So Leo Case with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox now there to Paul Newell. Paul Newell through the middle. That's good play by Paul Newell. Paul Newell going all the way. Paul Newell's going all the way. Oh! Well, I can't describe that try by Paul Newell. Absolutely sizzling. No wonder they call him Nuclear Newell. That was absolutely brilliant. And there's half at Featherstone Rovers playing, having drinks from Dave Sharp from the physio on the halfway line. Paul Newell there went between two would-be tacklers. Side step round Gary Connolly. Phil Beavers come to tackle him. But what chance did Phil Vevers have? The best fullback in the world won't have no chance of tackling Paul Newell in that position, because he just sidestepped round him off one leg, straightened up and put the ball just 10 yards this side of the post. Rovers 6, St Helens 4, with this conversion to come from Derek Fox. Can you do it, Derek? He sure can. He's got his kicking boots on this season. 2 more points to Derek Fox, 2 more points to Rovers. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4.
Jimmy! Take it, Dante! Take it, Dante!
So when I just get my breath back after that absolutely fantastic try there, well, words can't describe that try by Paul Newell that time. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And Ikram but there, I think Ikram must be his most consistent player of the season there. Gets that ball, oh, and Rovers playing danger football again inside their own 25-yard area. Gary Rose just wants steadying down, just play the 6 tackles out. So Derek Fox with the ball there, out there. To Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there trying to go down Gary Connolly, but Gary Connolly quick to move up. Torian Smales there, rightly so, taking it in from acting halfback, trying to steady it down. That's the 4th tackle. 2 tackles to go. So Brendan Toulter there, putting the ball up high. And Les Quirk underneath it. It's all on. The referee rightly so, giving the knock on, no advantage given. So Paul Bishop with the ball there, trying to get that ball out wide now there to John Harrison. John Harrison there to George Mann there, trying to get that ball over there to Alan Hunt. Well, St Helens there, Featherstone Rovers quick to regroup that time. There was an overlap on that side, but St Helens slow to get the ball over. And Gary Connolly with the ball. Gary Connolly got men outside him. Number 13 there, Shane Cooper there. Shane Cooper there going all the way. Tackle into touch. Shane Cooper there nearly scored in the corner, but dangerous stuff there from St Helens. Stopping and starting. And St Helens having to make a substitution. Mark Bailey, the number 14 substitute, having to replace Les Quirk on the wing. So Derek Fox there, feeding the scrum, getting the ball from the scrum. But being tackled there by George Mann. And St Helens defence moving up very quickly indeed. They're either like grease lightning or Rovers are slow at these play the ball. So it's Leo Casey with the ball. Trying to bring it out of his own 25-yard line. So Brendan Toulter there, pushing one man off, but not pushing George Mann off. George Mann there making the tackle. So Derek Fox, that big kick downfield. So referee, rightly so, not being within 10 yards of the ball. Penalising Rovers. The law states that the Featherstone Rovers player offside from the kick-off must be within 10 yards of the ball when the opposition picks it up. In that case, the Rovers player wasn't, so referee rightly so, but I wish the referees would be more consistent this season. Oh, and it's Shane Cooper, oh! And that was a try-saving tackle from Gary Rose, if ever I saw one. Rovers seemed to open up that time, but Gary Rose stuck to his task. Now it's Bernard Dwyer with the ball. Rovers defence sticking firm. Must stick out. John Harrison with the ball now, running it in. John Harrison getting that ball back. It's all on there to Phil Vevers. Phil Vevers moving that ball out wide. Forward there, so forward there now to that big up and under there by so referee penalising St Helens, moving up too quick. Penalty kick to Rovers. Well, there's one thing what the Rugby League can't say about Feathers Rovers this season is when they do watch Rovers, they can't say they don't get value for money, because every game what Rovers are in, it's like it's absolutely brilliant stuff. Plenty of points scored. So Ian Smales there, that little dummy going on the blind side, trying to reach the halfway line. That's good play that by Ian Smales. So Derek Fox with the ball now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter there, good ball there to Tim Sharp. But referee spotting a forward pass. Just a little forward pass, but they all count. So it'll be Paul Bishop to feed the scrum. So the ball's in. Paul Bishop with the ball there. And that ball there to T. Party there, to Phil Weaver's back there to T. Party. T. Party there, trying to straighten up, big strong New Zealander. Being tackled just about on the halfway. Ian Smales makes the tackle. So it goes with the ball now to Bishop. Bishop inside there to John Harrison. John Harrison trying to come down the middle. Well, that's good tackling that by Leo Casey. Right round the bootlaces, makes the tackle. So it's Paul Bishop with the ball there. Trying to get that ball up there, but the ball's gone forward. That'll be another scrum down. I will say for the referee tonight, he's bang on the job tonight, is Mr. Burke. Rovers 8, St Helens 4. Cup tie atmosphere here at Post Office. Oh, Tim Sharp there with the ball there from Derek Fox. Taking the defence on. So there we see Rovers losing the ball again on the first tackle. Tim Sharp there wanted to play the ball, and St Helens hooking the ball back with the foot, rightly so in this game. So St Helens possession, and it could have also always been Rovers. So it's John Harrison with the ball. John Harrison there trying to get through the gap. Rovers once again playing catch rugby. That little kick through, it's all on. Good play that by Chris Bibb there. Wasn't really the favourite to get to that ball for Rovers, but he did put the St Helens man off. So Chris Burton with the ball there, trying to drive it out in his own 25-yard area. That's the second tackle. Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox outside there now. To Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there being tackled just over his own 25-yard line. So Brendan Toter with the ball there. Coming from acting half-back, so Trevor Clark now attacking half-back. Trevor Clark now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, the ball back there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, once again, he didn't seem to get hold of that ball. It hit the St Helens man. But the players can't see what I saw down there, that it was play on. So Paul Forber there takes the ball over the halfway line. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper, that's good play, that's to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly out to one tackle. Gary Connolly, this is where he's dangerous. He's running wide, taking these defenders on. And just looking down, T. Party there seemed to have been winded in that tackle just beneath me, but he's back on his feet again. But it's still St Helens possession. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to George Mann. George Mann there to Shane Cooper, losing the ball in the tackle. That's a mistake by St Helens. Good tackling that by Tim Sharp on Shane Cooper. Made him lose that ball. So Leo Case with the ball. Leo Case now there to Brendan Toter. Ian Smales it was. So it's Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox now there to Gary Rose. That was good play by Ian Smales and Brendan Toter. Now it's Brendan Toter yet again. Back inside now there. Oh, Chris Bibb nearly through the gap. So Trevor Clark now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter now there. Featherston Rovers trying to play 100-mile-an-hour stuff, and rightly so. They've got St Helens cover stretch that time. Now it's Ian Smales with the ball. Ian Smales back inside now there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb nowhere to go now there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose must straighten up. Who's going to get this ball? Owen Simpson. Owen Simpson knocking on. Referee once again right on the spot. So Paul Bishop there feeding the scrum. Ball's out there, Alan Hunt wearing the number 4 shirts, having to go onto the wing. For Les Quirk, who went off injured. Mark Bailey going into the centre. So Bernard Dwyer being tackled just over his own 25-yard area. So Paul Bishop trying to get this St Helens team going. George Mann with the ball to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop now there to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly turning back inside, pushing one man off, pushing 2 men off. But that Rovers defence standing firm. Leo Casey there made the first tackle. So Paul Bishop with the ball. Paul Bishop, that little kick through. And Derek Fox getting down on that ball. Penalty kick to Rovers once again. Mr. Burke right on the spot. So Trevor Clark with the ball there. Tap penalty there to Leo Casey. That first drive in. Just about 10 minutes for playing this first half. So Derek Fox with the ball now there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales, oh, couldn't get that ball out there to Chris Bibb. So Brendan Tote again, that ball from Acton Harpat, that little flick back there. Rovers there trying to throw the ball about. Chris Bibb with the ball yet again, trying to link up as much as possible. Gets up, plays the ball. Now it's Terry Manning there going from Acton Harpat. Gets that ball back inside there to Trevor Clark. Reaches that St Helens 25-yard line. So Derek Fox with the ball now there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose, that little dummy. Gets that ball back there for Derek Fox. Derek Fox now there to Brendan Tote but Shane Cooper there reading the situation well. So it's Brendan Tote with the ball now there to Terry Manning. Terry Manning there. Good as a pass there to Alan Hunt. Alan Hunt inside his own 25-yard area. But Owen Simpson there makes the tackle. Paul Newell coming across just to make sure he didn't pass the ball in the tackle. So Paul Forber there. That's the second tackle. Paul goes the ball now to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop there to John Harrison. Good defence by Rovers. That's the third tackle. Leo Casey below. Brendan Toter on top. Now it's Sean Cooper now there to number 10, George Mann. Plays the ball. Shane Cooper with the ball now. There's openings here on this side. But that's good defence that by Paul Newell. Paul goes there. Just about tackled on the halfway line. Gary Rose makes the tackle. Paul Bishop with the ball now. Paul Bishop to Phil Beavers. Phil Beavers. That little grubber kick down to... But Chris Bibb there never took his eye off the ball. Took it well. Chris Bibb there tried to come down the middle. Tackle there just short of his own 25-yard line. Now it's Owen Simpson. That's the second tackle. Gary Connolly makes the tackle. So Leo Casey. That's the third tackle used by Rovers. Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox now there to Ian Smales. That's the fourth tackle. Rovers in possession with the ball halfway between their own 25-yard area and the halfway line. It's all on. Derek Fox picks the loose ball up. Derek Fox there trying to dummy. Trevor Clark now there to Terry Manning. That's the fifth tackle. We're on the sixth tackle now. What's Rovers going to do with this? Are they going to run it or are they going to kick it? I think they're going to kick it downfield. And Alan Hunt there caught the ball, but just before he caught the ball, I'll give the lad his due, he did slip. So as he slipped down, he caught the ball and the ball bounced from his hand. And Gary Rose there throwing his headgear into the stand. So the ball's in the pack. It's out to Derek Fox. Derek Fox now there to Tim Sharp. Back there now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there. Trying to go down Gary Connolly, but that's good defence there by Gary Connolly. Now Gary Rose with the ball. Gary Rose here, that drive in. That's good backing up that by Tim Sharp. Good ball that by Gary Rose. So Trevor Clark now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter once again. That short, sharp pass, but Terry Manning there picking it up behind him. Terry Manning there trying to go down the middle. Being held up in the tackle there by Bernard Dwyer and John Harrison. So Leo Case with the ball there. Trying to slip that ball out, but Paul Bishop there making the tackle. Trevor Clark now from Acton half back now there to Chris Burton. Chris Burton being tackled here by Paul Forby. Is there a drop goal on the cards here? Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox. That big up and under. Brendan Tote up there for the ball. St Helens possession. And St Helens referee catching St Helens offside. And St Helens getting back for that penalty straight away. George Mann with the ball there running through. And that's how quickly St Helens have turned defence into attack once again. Switching direction there to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop going through towards that try line. Paul Bishop still going. And Paul Bishop there spoiling it all by giving a silly penalty away when St Helens had really got Featherstone on the ropes that time. But it just goes to show it how quick St Helens come out of defence onto the attack. So Rovers possession. Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp there to Airspell. Airspell still the gap. He's got Terry Manning. He's got Terry Manning outside him. Ball back in that side there for Terry Manning. Terry Manning looking for Ikram Butt on that wing. Gets the ball there to Ikram Butt. But Terry Manning there overrunning Ian Smales that time. So Chris Burton with the ball there, running it in. Marvellous bet that by Ian Smales. Coming back after injury. Gary Rose with the ball now there. Brendan Toter there to Paul Newell. Paul Newell inside there. Paul Newell taking men on. Paul Newell is all on. Oh! Paul Newell there absolutely dazzling Gary Connolly there. And the crowd applauding that moment. Absolutely brilliant stuff there by Paul Newell yet again. Turning inside. And call it a bit of gamesmanship, I don't know, but St Helens there taking the time, kicking that ball off, and Brendan Toter picks the ball up over the halfway line. He'll run it in. And Ikram Butt there from acting half-back. Takes that ball 15 yards inside the St Helens half of the game, half of the field. So Chris Burton with the ball there. Chris Burton being tackled halfway between the St Helens 25 and the halfway line. So Gary Rose there did the right thing, straightening up. And there goes the half-time outing here at Post Office Road after an enthralling first half. Rovers opened the scoring to lead by 2 points nil from a Derek Fox penalty. St Helens come straight back. Les Quirks going to try in the corner to make the show. Featherstone Rovers 2, St Helens 4. And that brilliant, absolutely fantastic, superb, call it what you want, Paul Newell try there. Derek Fox converting to bring the half-time score here at Post Office Road. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. Welcome back to Post Office Road for this enthralling Stonebridge Championship game between the league leaders St Helens and Featherstone Rovers, currently lying third from bottom. The half-time score being Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. Lots of mistakes in the first half, but really exciting stuff, and Hallenhoek there catching that ball from the kick-off, and Featherstone Rovers must cut these mistakes out if they've got to win this match. Desperately needing 2 points. Oh, and St Helens throwing the ball on the old 25-yard line. This is good play by St Helens. That ball back inside there to Mark Bailey, but Mark Bailey, that's our quicken at St Helens out to their own 25-yard area. Tony Sullivan with the ball there. Absolutely marvellous break by St Helens. Throwing caution to the wind, passing the ball on their own line. Got to take risks in this game of rugby league, and St Helens definitely took it that time, paying off. But Rovers defence quick to move up. That big kick downfield, but crispy there. Well, I thought that Alan Burke blew his whistle, but he can't have done. Seemed to be slow motion stuff that time, but Crispy brightly so run the ball in, and Leo Casey there, second tackle of the match, that of the half, and Brendan Toter, he'll kill the ball. Referee says play on, but I'm sure that thought Brendan Toter might have played that ball on there to form the scrum. So Shane Cooper there to Gary Connolly running it in. Being tackled there by Trevor Clark. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to John Harrison. But once again, Rovers having possession there with the ball and giving it away on the third tackle. So it's George Mann with the ball there. Pushes Derek Fox off. But Terry Manning there gets back, makes the tackle on the big fella. Shane Cooper with the ball there. And Terry Manning there, surely Terry Manning seemed to be offside there, but the referee says play on. So that's a let off for Rovers. So Ikram Butt there from acting halfback, running it in. Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter plays the ball now there, back there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose head down, running it in. Tackled by John Harrison. So Leo Casey with the ball. Being tackled by George Mann. Leo Casey in form lately, having come back from a bad injury. So Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox there once again, that big up and under. Derek Fox there playing his men on side. But Phil Weaver's taking the ball. That's good play by the St Helens fullback. Phil Weaver's very, very rare he makes a mistake. So Paul Bishop there getting that ball out there to Thierry Party there to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly no way to go, being tackled on that far side of the field. Oh, Paul Forber being held up in the tackle. So Shane Cope with the ball now there to George Mann. George Mann through the middle there, but it's bad. But it's a bad ball. It's all on. Ikram Butt there fighting for the ball, but Rovers get possession. Well, how did Terry Manning get that ball? There's only Terry Manning knows. Tim Sharp with the ball there. Tim Sharp through the gap. Tim Sharp there taking him on. Oh, if only he could have slipped that ball there to Chris Bibb inside him. But he would have had to double up. Chris Bibb there taking tacklers on. Chris Bibb there tackling just short. Now you're in the Rovers roar. And just when Rovers have got the momentum going there, Chris Bibb, they're trying to play the ball quickly, knocking the ball on. So it'll be... Well, that's a mistake by the referee because the ball was out of the pack. Paul Bishop there dummying the Rovers and also dummying the referee because the ball was out of the pack. And Featherstone Rovers moved up, but referee says offside. So Paul Bishop with the ball now there to John Harrison. John Harrison being met there by Chris Burton, getting his shoulder behind him in the tackle. Gary Rose also helping out in the tackle. Paul Forber with the ball there. Paul Forber being tackled just short of the halfway line. One just feels that the next score in this match is going to be decisive. It's not a very high scoring match. Both sides there willing to throw the ball about. Both sides there making mistakes with the ball. But luckily for St Helens, that coming off for him that time. So George Mann with the ball now there to Mark Bailey. But Mark Bailey running into Tim Sharp. Owen is offside. George Mann there, why did he pick that ball up? Because he was offside. But it's all right me saying that in the gantry. How do you see the game going, Martin?
Well, I think if Rovers can keep the pressure on that they have been putting on John, I think they can take this game.
Thank you, Martin. So there we are. And I endorse what Martin just says, that Rovers seem to be putting the pressure on St Helens in the second half, moving up more quickly into the tackle. But St Helens do look dangerous when they're getting the ball out wide. And just looking down there at Chris Bibb, he seems to have some broken ribs there, but he's had a bit of physio there off Dave Sharp, so he's going to continue. So Derek Fox there lining this goal kick up. Strikes the ball, but just outside of the post. It didn't bend in that time, Derek. It went on straight. So it's still, the score remains at the half-time score. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. So there that man again, can't keep him out of this game. Derek Fox there taking that kick off. That drop out there, I should say. That's the first tackle. So Gary Rose, that's the second tackle. Tackle just short of the halfway line. John Harrison making the tackle. Now Chris Burton's turn to drive it in. That's the third tackle. All these Featherstone Rovers forwards looking for work tonight. So Tim Sharp now there to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter there to Ace Smails, but that pass a couple of inches forward. And referee penalising Featherstone Rovers play for mouthing. Was it Brendan Toulter? Penalty kick to St Helens. So Phil Weaver's putting that ball over the stand. Now we hear the St Helens roar. We've heard the Rovers roar just a couple of minutes ago. So it's Paul Bishop with the ball now. Paul Bishop there to Shane Cooper now to George Mann. George Mann now there to Mark Bailey. Mark Bailey taking Chris Bibb on. But Chris Bibb on brings a marvellous tackle off and he's injured himself again in that tackle. Already carrying an injury, Chris Bibb. St Helens there to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop now there to John Harrison running it in. Big powerful stuff by John Harrison. Plays the ball back now there to Bernard Dwyer, to Tira Party, but that's good defence by Rovers. Paul Newell of Uriwaro getting across there to make that tackle. And St Helens really throwing this ball out. And it's gone wide. Our Rovers moving up quick here. George Mann now got players outside him taking Chris Bibb on, but that's good defence once again by Chris Bibb. And Rovers get possession. It's a backing play. So Derek Fox there kicks the ball high up onto the stand and Chris Bibb once again having treatment. So Leo Casey with the ball. Leo Casey there driving it in. Once again, that's good driving by Leo. So Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox looking for runners inside in there to Chris Burton. That's the second tackle. Rovers must play these 6 tackles out. So Derek Fox with the ball now there to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter there being tackled there by Mark Bailey. Plays the ball back. Trevor Clark in possession now. Running it in. That's the fourth tackle. He can book with the ball there now to Derek Fox. And Derek Fox knocking the ball on, rushing the ball. So it'll be a scrum down, and Gary Rose there clapping his hands saying, come on lads, keep it up. So Paul Bishop feeding the scum. Paul Bishop out there to tear a party, but that's gut tackling that by Tim Sharp on his opposite number. Paul Bishop with the ball now to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper, John Harrison now to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly there taking Chris Bibb on. But once again, Chris Bibb getting across to make the tackle. And Tim Sharp there and Leo Casey helping out. And referee penalising Rovers. Penalty kick to St Helens, deciding to run the ball. Tear a party there to Mark Bailey. Mark Bailey trying to run round Brendan Tota, but Brendan Tota there stuck to his man, made the tackle. So number 12 there, Bernard Dwyer, trying to fight his way through the defence. John Harrison there. Good defence by Rovers. Trevor Clark there, wrapping his arms around them big legs of John Harrison's. So once again, Rovers defence standing firm, but St Helens looking dangerous with this ball. Thierry Patch with the ball there, gets that ball now there to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly there being rolled over in the tackle by Paul Newlove. So Paul Bishop, that big up and under. That's good play, that by Terry Manning. Oh, he never took his eye off the ball, Terry Manning. So Chris Bibb here on a floater. Float like a butterfly. By one nearly through the gap that time. So Derek Fox now there to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt pushes Thomas, pushes three men off. Losing the ball in the tackle. Mark Bailey tidies up for St Helens. And once again, Rovers, they are defending for all the life's worth. Is the defence going to hold out? Mark Bailey with the ball. George Mann there from acting half-back. Pushes two men off. Ooh, what a strong fella this George Mann is. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Shane Cooper to Paul Bishop. Oh, and that was lucky there for St Helens. That ball coming off Ian Smales' hand. But no, he's saying that Paul Newlove. Featherstone Rovers just steady it down. Chris Burton with the ball. Being tackled on his own 25-yard area. Now it's Ikram Butt. Gary Rose now from acting half back there to Derek Fox now there to Brendan Tota. After one tackle, but once again, too many red and white shirts in the way that time. That's good defence by St Helens. Shane Cooper there, brilliant tackling. And Derek Fox there, that's what it wants. Down the field. Oh, and Alan Hunt there, half-hearted, running it in. Seemed to stop there when he saw the blue and white shirts coming towards him. Bernard Dwyer in possession. Being pushed back. Paul Forber now with the ball. That's good defence by Rovers. That's three tackles. Oh, and he didn't seem to play that ball right there, but the referee says play on. Thierry Patch with the ball. Being tackled 10 yards short of the halfway line. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Shane Cooper. Back inside there to John Harrison. John Harrison coming down the middle, but that's good tackling that. Leo Casey below. Chris Burton on top. So Paul Bishop looking for this touchline side. Marvellous kick that by Paul Bishop. The ball rolling and rolling. Finds touch. 5 yards from the corner flag. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. What a thriller here at Post Office Road. Both sides absolutely desperately needing 2 points for different reasons, of course. St Helens to consolidate their position at the top of the table. Featherstone Rovers to get out to another 2 points away from that dreaded bottom two, that relegation zone. So Derek Fox with the ball there, that little dummy. John Harrison coming across to smother Derek Fox there, just about on his own 25-yard line. So Tim Sharp now there to Gary Rose. So Chris Burnt with the ball now there to Brendan Toolter, trying to fight his way through tackles. That's good defence. So Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox now there to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp now there to Terry Manning there to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt there to Terry Manning. Terry Manning's got to come inside there. Taking Anthony Sullivan on. Marvellous play by Rovers. Ikram Butt with the ball now there to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp there, that big up and under. And the ball there going. Oh, it's a knock on. It's offside. It's a knock on offside. All sorts there down there. The referees give the offside. The ball did go over the St Helens try line, but the rule is that the St Helens man must catch the ball cleanly before it is a tap on his own 25-yard area. Well, one has to ask the question, what are Featherstone Rovers playing at, because there was 2 points absolutely begging to be kicked there between the posts. Featherstone Rovers will not get a better chance at scoring 2 points all the season. Well, that absolutely baffles me. I'm sure that there'll be a few words to say at the end of the match about that decision, what Featherstone Rovers made that time. Because surely there were 2 points there for the taking. St Helens definitely left off the hook that time. That 2 points would have just put a cushion between Featherstone Rovers and St Helens of 6 points, which is a try and a goal. As it is, it's still Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. So St Helens getting out of jail, as they say, that time. Well, unbelievable that to me. But anyway, I'm on the gantry. I'm just commentating on the game, but how costly will them two be? Anyway, Paul Bushett with the ball now. Ooh, and getting that ball out wide to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly there taking Chris Bibb on. Beautiful tackle that, Chris Bibb getting across. Absolutely magic tackling that by Chris Bibb. How he got across there to tackle, was it Gary Connolly in the corner? Beautiful tackling that by the Rovers fullback. He's had a blinder of a game tonight, as Chris Bibb got the man of the match on Sunday again, Widnes, when Rovers lost in the Regal Trophy third round. And from that scrum there, Derek Fox feeding the scrum. Derek Fox getting the ball from the scrum. Oh, Trevor Clark got the ball from the scrum, but Derek Fox picked it up. And St Helens really crowding round St Helens. And we hear the St Helens roar now. Brendan Toolter going from acting half-back. So bad mistake by Rovers, knocking that ball inside their own 25-yard area. Paul Bishop with the ball there. Paul Bishop there to Gary Connolly, pushing one man off. But Tim Sharp getting across to make the tackle. Paul Groves with the ball there. Paul Groves getting that ball out there, one-handed there to T. Party. T. Party showing the dummy. That's good tackling by Derek Fox. Marvellous tackling by the Rovers scrum half. And this is good defence by Rovers. Just when you think that St Helens are getting on top, Rovers come back with the defence. John Harrison with the ball there. Trying to turn round in the tackle. Good defence by Rovers that time. St Helens trying to throw this ball about. Shane Cooper getting that ball out wide there. Gary Connolly turning back inside. Getting that ball back inside here. St Helens really throwing this ball out there. Referee Mr Burt there penalising Chris Byrne for an head-high tackle. So another 6 tackles for St Helens on that Featherstone Rovers try line. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 4. Team yet to score in this second half. Oh, that's a terrible mistake by St Helens. Fancy running the ball blind on that first tackle when they've all the field to play it. So Derek Fox feeds the scrum, it's out to Rovers. Gary Rose from acting half back, didn't have time to pick the ball up before the St Helens players were around him. Now it's in. Chris Burton's turn to run it in. Brendan Tota caught in possession. He's still inside Rovers from 25-yard area. That's good running that by Leo Casey. So Derek Fox with the ball. That's what it wanted. That big bolt downfield. But that's good positioning that by Phil Beavers. Over the halfway line. George Mann there to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop now there. To Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer 10 yard inside that Rovers half of the field. That's the second tackle. John Harrison with the ball. But that's good defence that by Chris Burton. One man tackle that time. Caught him round the chest. Brought him down. Paul Groves with the ball now there. St Helens trying to George Mann. George Mann there. For Paul, but it's all on. That's a knock on. So it'll be a scrum down. Derek Fox to feed the scrum. Paul Forber just saying to the referee the Featherstone Rovers man knocked on, but not where I am, Paul. It's a St Helens knock on. Derek Fox feeding the scrum. It's out to Rovers. Derek Fox with the ball now there to Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp there being tackled there by his opposite number. Tea of the party. So Trevor Clark now there gets the ball there to Brendan Tota. So Trevor Clark with the ball there, back inside there to Leo Casey. But good defence by St Helens there on Chris Bibb. So Gary Rose there trying to fight down the middle. And you hear the roar from the crowd, get him on side, ref. So Derek Fox, that's what it wanted. 3 or 4 good drives in. That big kick downfield and the ball rolling dead. Now then, Rovers, how we organised. So George Mann with the ball. George Mann there, trying to break away from his own 25-yard area. But that's good tackling that by Trevor Clark. John Harrison now with the ball. Oh, John Harrison throw it in. John Harrison, Paul Forber back inside there to Mark Bailey. And Chris Bibb once again. Marvellous tackling. And Paul Forber laid out in front of me here. I don't know whether he's caught one or not after the ball was laid, but I don't just saw what happened that time in the tackle. And Derek Fox being cautioned for punching Paul Forber in the tackle after the ball was gone. Penalty kick to St Helens, and St Helens pressure once again on this Featherstone Rovers try line. John Harrison running the ball in hard, gets rid of the ball in the tackle. Good defence by Rovers. And you hear the roar now from the Rovers supporters. Come on Rovers, they're saying. Bernard Dwyer there, tackle just short of that Rovers 25-yard line. Shane Cooper throwing this ball about, trying for all the worth there. And number 8 there, Paul Forber yet again there, gets that ball away there to number 6, Tira Party. Tira Party still going Tira Party. To Phil Beavers to Gary Connolly. But this Rovers defence absolutely standing firm tonight. Paul Bishop with the ball there to Shane Cooper now to George Mann. George Mann back inside now there to Shane Cooper there to John Harrison. John Harrison taking the ball there to George Mann. George Mann there trying to drive the ball back inside there. Gets the ball back inside there to Bernard Dwyer. And this Rovers defence, will it crack? Oh, Paul Bishop knocks the ball on. And that Rovers defence absolutely brilliant tonight. And that's the 6th tackle. That's the changeover. Now then, Featherstone, have you got anything left?
I can't believe it.
Two more points to St Helens there. St Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 6. So 13 minutes left for play. St Helens narrowed the score. The first goal point scored in the second half. Gary Connolly with the ball now for St Helens. So St Helens in possession with the ball. John Harrison coming down the middle. George Mann getting that ball back inside there to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper throwing the ball out wide. The ball going back. That ball went back. Play on, referee, rightly so. Paul Forber with the ball back inside there. Marvellous tackling that by Terry Manning. Shane Cooper with the ball now there to Paul Bishop. Paul goes to the ball now there to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper to Tira Party. Tira Party looking for runners outside in there to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly, oh, I've lost it in the floodlights. Well, Rovers really putting pressure on themselves. Had a chance to get that ball there. I think it was Chris Bibb there. Oh, caught the ball. Well, it's Smales, it was. Ian Smales caught the ball under the floodlights and lost it. St Helens. Mark Bailey with the ball now there to Anthony Sullivan. That's good tackling that by Ikram, but Paul Forber now there to John Harrison. Trying to turn round in the tackle. Sullivan now to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop now there to Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer there to Phil Weavers there now to Gary Connolly. Gary Connolly, that little kick throw, that touchline side, and Owen Simpson there got back. Tremendous turn of speed there by Owen Simpson. Beating Allen up to the ball, kicking the ball dead. But absolutely, St Helens storming this Featherstone Rovers try line, but still to score a try in this second half. Rovers just hanging on. So that big kick-off there, that's a good kick-off there by Derek Fox. The ball rolling just about on the halfway line. Gary Connolly, safety first, stopping it with his legs, running it in, and St Helens come again, the red and white machine. Shane Cooper here, trying to throw that ball out wide now to Phil Weavers. Gets that ball there to Shane Cooper there to Paul Bishop there to George Mann. Oh, Paul Newell there made a good tackle there on George Mann. And likewise there, Gary Rose there on Bernard Dwyer. Oh, Tira Party there running it in, but Tim Sharp there made the tackle. Another vital tackle there by Tim Sharp. So Paul Groves there now to Tira Party, to George Mann, to Paul Bishop, to Phil Weavers, back inside. Oh, and it's a knock on that time. This Rovers defence absolutely brilliant here at Post Office Road. So Rovers getting the ball there. Chris Bibb there getting that ball from Derek Fox from the base of the scrum. So Derek Fox there taking it in. That's the second tackle. Trevor Clark now there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose out to one tackle, but Tira Party there wrapping him up. Trevor Clark now there to Chris Burton. Chris Burton there, that driving. So Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox there, that big ball downfield. And the ball rolling and rolling, but Phil Weavers getting across. Featherstone Rovers have got to keep St Helens pinned down. That's good tackling that by Ian Smales. And it's up to Rovers now to keep him pinned down in that 25, and you hear the Rovers roar. That's the second tackle. This Rovers crowd really rising to this barnstorming defence here this evening at Post Office Road. That's the third tackle. That's the fourth tackle. That's good defence by Rovers. St Helens still camped in their own 25-yard area. Derek Fox marshalling his troops there behind his line of defence. Gary Connolly there, being wrapped up there by Paul Newell. And look at blue and white shirts around Gary Connolly. Now then, Rovers, can you keep him pinned down? Paul Bishop gets that kick in. And Chris Bibb there, safety first, taking that kick in. Owen Simpson now from acting half back. Owen Simpson coming down the middle. Owen Simpson there taking the defence on. Owen Simpson there. Marvellous running that by Owen Simpson. That's what Rovers wanted. Now Chris Byrne driving it in. That's good running by Chris Byrne. Listen to this Featherstone roar. It's unbelievable here at Post Office Road. Derek Fox with the ball. Get that ball out wide. But it's a knock on. We're all getting excited instead of calming it down. So it's a scrum down inside that St Helens 25-yard area. It'll be Paul Bishop to feed the scrum. The ball's in, it's out to St Helens. Phil Weaver's taking Chris Bibb on. That's good defence by Chris Bibb there, but he gets that ball away there to, I think it's Sean Cooper. No, it's Thierry Party. Trying to fight his way out of tackles. George Mann with the ball now. George Mann there gets the ball away in the tackle to Bernard Dwyer. Well, there's no belief in this ground tonight. Everybody's stood up in the stands. John Harrison with the ball there. Being tackled just about on the halfway line. Gary Rose making the tackle. Paul Bishop with the ball to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper inside there to Thierry Party. Thierry Party back there to Gary Connolly. Referee just stopping the clock because I think he thought, like I thought, that Gary Connolly had got a bad injury that time, but Gary Connolly up on his feet. Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Shane Cooper. Absolutely marvellous defence again. The St Helens forward on his back, but I'm sure that if St Helens had passed this ball on this side instead of passing it inside.
That's lost tackle! It's lost tackle,
But I'm sure that if St Helens had passed that ball good driving that by Gary Rose. So Ikram Butt now, Terry Manning having to go off injured. Ikram Butt moving into the centre. Spencer Longstaff coming in onto the wing. So Trevor Clark getting that ball there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that big kick downfield. Phil Weaver's underneath it on the halfway line. Gives the ball there to Alan Hunt. Ian Smales, Trevor Clark, Leo Casey. That's good defence by them three forwards that time. Ian Smales, Leo Casey and Trevor Clark. Get up Trevor, the crowd shouting. Paul Bishop with the ball there. George Mann in possession. Being tackled there by his two New Zealand counterparts there, Brendan Toulton, Trevor Clark. Oh, John Harrison with the ball there. 10 yards from the halfway line. Which side's going to crack first? Bernard Dwyer, so near yet so far. Being tackled there by Gary Rose. Nice Paul Bishop with the ball now there to Shane Cooper. To George Mann. George Mann there to Mark Bailey. But Mark Bailey being wrapped up there by Ikram Butt and Spencer Longstaff. And once again, George Mann's done the exact trick as what he did 10 minutes ago. Picked the ball up in front of the man. Offside.
2.5.
2.5. 2.5 minutes left for play. And the Featherstone Rovers man of the match. I'm that excited. I didn't see what was going off crispy because the timekeeper Roy Hinchcliffe will tell him the 2.5 minutes left for play. Brendan Toulter. Tackle just inside that St Helens 25-yard area. Spencer Longstaff running it in. He's here to shout from the gantry. There's 2.5 minutes left. Surely Rovers are not going to lose this now, are they? Surely. This will be heartbreaking if they lose this match tonight. The defence has absolutely been superb. Absolutely marvellous defence by Rovers tonight. So that's the sixth and last tackle. 1.5 minutes left for play. Oh, that's good defence by Paul Newlove. Magic play that by Paul Newlove. He spotted the danger. He come up with the ball. And St Helens tackled over the wrong try line. A minute left, a minute. Listen to the Rovers roar here at Post Office Road. Now then, Brendan, take the tackle. That's good professionalism, that by Brendan Toulter. Took the high ball, took the tackle. Leo Case running it in. That's the second tackle. Trevor Clark with the ball now there to Gary Rose. Gary Rose there, he'll drive it in to Hicken Butts. Rolled over in the tackle. Leo Casey head down. He'll drive it in towards them posts. And there goes the full-time outer. Oh, what an absolutely thrilling victory. What do you think to that, Martin?
Brilliant. I think I've just knocked my rib up again.
Martin's just said he's knocked his ribs up again. Absolutely magic stuff. What do you think to it, Peter Bell?
Unbelievable, John, but I tell you what, that goal kick inside that post changed the whole game.
But Rovers' defence this afternoon, Peter.
Brilliant. Mind you, John, they've worked enough on it. In training light, and it's paid off today. They've been brilliant in defence.
Thank you very much, Martin Pearson and Peter Bell. And the St Helens players absolutely looking dejected, but the Rovers' defence, especially in that second half, has been unbelievable for words. I'll just go through the try scorers. Paul Newell of a try and Derek Fox 2 goals for Rovers, 8 points. For St Helens, Les Quirk a try and Paul Bishop a goal. Not many points today, but I'm sure that there hasn't been a man leave. There hasn't been a man leave this stadium from tonight's match. Absolutely enthralling stuff. And I must say, I've just got to get my breath back. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 6.